So thank you very much for coming, Alexandra. So it's not the first webinar that you do with us, and it's always a pleasure to have you on board. So I know that we have we have Indian students as well. As you know, today is a big day for Indian because you have the World Cup, India against Pakistan. And I've seen that we have one, two, three, four, about five students. So they're getting ready for tomorrow. So hopefully India will win. Let's cross fingers, but they've never lost against Pakistan. So there's no reason that they lose tomorrow. So, Alexandra, yes, of course, cricket is not a European sport. Okay, it's a British sport, but we're getting used to it now. Alors, Ariane, he was not happy. Maybe that I support India. I don't know. Alors, basically, so Alexandra, we didn't have the opportunity to talk together lately because you've been pretty busy. So basically, how have been this last 5 months since July 2021?
Well, thank you for your question. It has been very nice. I just finished period 1 at INSEAD, which is the most intense period among the 5. And I can say it was quite intense because we had to study 3 different subjects, and we always had to do group projects and continuously apply the knowledge that we were doing. And then we had exams on our last session, so it was pretty intense if you take into consideration all the career and, of course, social activities that you can find on campus.
Okay, so that was a big thing. So tell me, how is can you explain to the people attending the webinar today how the INSEAD program is structured between P0, P1, P2, up to P5, the 2 campuses, if you can explain to us.
So those who want to do an MIM know that INSEAD is a 10-month program. So you have 10 months of courses. You start in July, P0, which is a preparatory course in which you learn the art of communication, you learn Python, so you learn some programming, and you also do some career-related surveys and stuff to get to know yourself better and to understand your motivations. After that, in August, we actually have 2 weeks of immersion. So we have all these different group activities to get to know each other better and to really make sure we interact with all the other students because, as you know, going to a business school is about meeting new people, is about building your network. So we are trained on that. And in September, we started P1. So in total, you have 5 periods, period 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 during the MIM. The first 3 periods are done in Fonty or Fontainebleau in France, and the other 2 are done in Singapore. Between these periods, we also have a compulsory study trip to do. So you get the option to go to Abu Dhabi, Shanghai, or San Francisco. It's totally up to you to do 1 or 3 trips, but in order to get your diploma, you need to complete at least 1 study trip. So now about the period 1. So essentially, period 1 consists of 3 core courses, and after that we have practicals. I just finished my practicals from period 1, and my company presentation is on the 26th of October. And through these practicals, essentially we apply all the knowledge that we have acquired during the core courses.
Okay. So tell me, but what did you study in P1 exactly? What were the course all about? Can you be more precise about the courses, the practical?
Yes. So it was financial accounting. It was data analysis and marketing. I'm a business student, so I studied this previously, but I can say that compared, for example, to undergrad courses, it's much more intense. You don't have time to, take your time and process the information. You literally jump into like learning the things and into the theory and into applying the theory through group projects. So these main 3 courses are actually going to be very useful for P2 because data analysis, so essentially statistics, is going to serve as our theoretical knowledge for machine learning. And the financial accounting course is going to serve as a baseline for the next valuation course. Overall, I would say they were quite intense. So you get a lot of work to do besides the classes. You have to prepare a lot in advance because in class, people participate a lot. The professor asks a lot of questions. So it's not like in the undergrad where you just go to class and you just, attend the lecture. It's more about group discussions, group presentations, sharing your opinion on different case studies. So it's much more, I would say, interactive.
Okay. And tell me, so you say that ESSEC and you say that INSEAD, how different are the courses, everything, how different are the 2 schools? Just not but at the same time, they have 2 campuses, one in Europe, but how different is it in terms of, I don't know, classes, philosophy, grading, the of education?
Yeah, so I think both are very good schools, but the way teaching happens is a bit different. Again, I did ESSEC in my undergrad. It's a fantastic school, and I think all the courses that I learned in my undergrad kind of served me as a baseline for my master courses. But what I have noticed is that at INSEAD, it's much more diverse in terms of the community. I mean, ESSEC is a very typical traditional French school. So you would, of course, see as a dominant culture French people, and from international, you would see many people coming from China and from India. And INSEAD, it is not the case as much. Actually, the cohort is very diverse. And I think not only in terms of nationalities, but also in terms of their background, because you have people who have studied drama, you have people who did literature, you have people who did, engineering. And we really rely on our strengths when we work in group projects, which, by the way, the groups are assigned by the administration to make sure you are working in a diverse group. So when working in group projects, you have to learn how to adapt to the group dynamics. You have to learn how to communicate with people from different cultures and backgrounds. Someone maybe has a faster pace of understanding the concepts. Others have less experience and are struggling a bit. So you have to learn to adapt to your group.
Okay, very good. And what is a typical day at INSEAD?
I would more say a typical week. So we have classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Although these are free days, you're not free at all because you have all the activities related to your career or group projects for the next courses to do. Then you have all these different clubs, student clubs, so investment club, consulting club, who organize all these different kinds of events. So I would say whether it's the weekend or whether there are weekdays, there are always things to do, and you need to learn to prioritize and to understand what you really want to get out of the program, because there are different people. Some people are on holidays, they already have a job, so they're here to enjoy their student life for one more year. Other people are looking for jobs like me, so they need to prepare for interviews and, network and stuff. So it really depends.
On the copy. Alors basically, I have Alvaro was joined, okay? So you met Alvaro yesterday. Thank you very much. It's very nice. I asked you for 5 minutes. So basically, Alvaro was very impressed. What impressed you at INSEAD, Alvaro, when you visited INSEAD yesterday? Tell me. Hello, Alvaro? Alvaro? Maybe he cannot talk. Alvaro? and maybe cannot talk. So basically, what did you show to Alvaro yesterday that impressed him? Alvaro, you're on mute maybe. He was very impressed with the system that you have, or you can have like job search. So can you tell me what it is? I've never seen it in my life, but he was very impressed by what he saw.
Yeah, so what I noticed actually compared to ESSEC, but this was my experience, is that people are really helpful at INSEAD. So for example, when I was having group projects at ESSEC, this was my experience, but people like were not that helpful, and they assume that we are all equal and we contribute equally in the sense of our knowledge and our skills. Whereas here at INSEAD, we really learn to embrace diversity of thought, diversity of skills, diversity of everything. So this is one main difference, and I would say, yeah.
Yes, because how does it work for the job search? So you have what type of help will you get in addition to this platform that you have? You have like forums, you have coaching, you have
well,
clubs,
yeah,
events organized by clubs. How does it work?
So yeah, so far all the job help is centered around IB, financial investment and consulting, because actually for industry jobs, for like graduate programs for corporates, it starts later. But we have all these tracks, career tracks, in which we talk to, for example, recruiters and people from Amazon, from even from consulting firms. You also have a lot of MBAs on campus who are on a sponsored MBA from MBB, for example, or other consulting companies. And they are really open to meet with you and to share their experience, to give you advice, to help you with casing. The consulting, I would say, job search is very, very structured. So you are given all the details in an Excel file regarding the application deadlines and how you need to prepare your application and stuff. And you have assigned a career coach throughout your 5 periods, and you constantly exchange with your career coach to prepare your cover letter, prepare your CV, to prepare your pitch to the company. You can even do mock interviews, and they also organize all these workshops for case cracking, for preparing for assessments, for example, if you're applying for a graduate program. So I would say it really depends on the industry, but I would say that the networking opportunities are unlimited, essentially. So it's just up to you to go and reach out to people, show your interests, show that you're motivated. So yeah.
Okay, so tell me, what is the relationship exactly? What relationship have you got between MBA and MIM students? Because there must be something like 800 MBA students and 130 MIM students. Do you connect a lot? Do they help you? Are they like grandbrothers, grand sisters, or you somehow ignore yourself? How does it work? Because it would be one of the great advantage of one of the great assets of INSEAD to be able to melt with these MBA candidates.
They're actually really nice, very open to talk. You can see them on campus everywhere. I mean, we're on the same campus. We eat together. We have coffee together. So if you want to reach out, you just go on the internal database, and based on your interest, on geographies, on companies, you can find the people you're interested in and email them. So they would be very responsive and very open to talk to you and even to mentor you, if you will. So yeah, I would say there isn't much difference, to be honest. I think the only downside about INSEAD is that we cannot attend the same courses that MBAs have for period 4 and 5, which is a bit sad compared to, for example, LBS, in which students attend the same courses. But other than that, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic opportunity because you're not treated like in my undergrad, we were treated like kids and we were not really taken seriously, whereas here it's not the case anymore.
You're an adult. So tell me, I don't know if Alvaro, so basically Sarah is in your situation like 2 years ago. Okay, she has applied very early. Sarah Follens. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Sarah is from Belgium. She's currently studying at ESCP, and she got her interview with INSEAD last Sunday. So tell me, Sarah, from what you have heard, what makes INSEAD your favorite school, you, Sarah?
Just the fact that it's the business school of the world, so that it's so diverse in terms of students, faculty, and alumni, and of course in terms of campuses. I think INSEAD really provides an opportunity to become a global professional. And as Alexandra said, it's just the diversity is so valuable because it allows you to obtain a more global outlook and to look at things from different perspectives. So that's why I'm very interested in INSEAD.
So that's why you took INSEAD, and basically you have been into the same admission process as Aleksandra. So it's a great school, but I guess that there are two difficult things to reach the goal. One, money. It's an expensive school. Huh? Okay, so on it's a demanding school. And to give you an idea, Sarah and Aleksandra, I don't know, when we met in 2019, I think that we had 3 who have applied and who got in. 4, by the way. There was Louise Delairi, Tamara Fawaz, you, and there was Vincent Melavec. Okay, and then there were others. There were others at that time. Okay, there was a guy from, he was French Chinese. I forgot his name. And so what happened is that their score was between what, 660 and I don't know, so yeah, 680, and they all got in. And for information, you see, Aleksandra, now we have people who have scored 700 and who got rejected. I had like 8 applicants, and 2 got rejected, one at 700 and the other one at 710. According to you, by the way, Aleksandra, I have a pretty good idea of what they want now. Okay, what are they looking for in candidates, according to you?
Yeah, so we are not only looking for academic, like toppers, like people who are top of their class and don't do anything. They want well-rounded candidates. So they want people who are able to contribute to the program and who will be able to contribute in class. So this means they actually want people who have a passion for something. It doesn't matter what you do. You can sing, you can dance, you can do sports, you can, I don't know, do public speaking, be involved in NGOs, whatever you do, you need to show that you're an interesting person, essentially. And also you need to demonstrate the international aspect. So you need to show that you have studied abroad, or I don't know, did a study trip, did an exchange, that you speak different languages, that you are curious about different cultures, and that, of course, you want an international career. Yeah, well, most of the people who study at INSEAD after graduation, they usually work outside of their home country, so you need to be open-minded and motivated, I would say.
Okay. So basically, me, I have a pretty good idea now after these 2 failures, why you can get in and why you cannot get in. So what you say, Aleksandra, is very true. I would say, of course, a Gmat, they have to have a good Gmat. Today, probably above 700. It's difficult to say. I don't have, if I had like 100 applicants, I would say exactly, but I would say probably above 100 now, okay, for 2022 in tech. Of course, a good grade, good studies, etc. Probably 1 or 2 internships, good habitation, you can imagine. But I think what is also very important is international exposure. Okay, and the 2 who failed, now there was one from India who has never been abroad, forget it. Okay, and one from France who have never been abroad. Okay, if you have no international exposure, don't even apply to INSEAD. They will not take you. Okay, now what is very funny is to see the way the school is developing. Okay, and probably can make a big difference between probably HEC and INSEAD. So HEC, they tend to take, if they have a good candidate, they take him. Okay, okay. It seems that INSEAD is more picky. Okay, and they are not ready to grow for growing. Okay, last year they had 80 students. This year they have 130. Okay, they are probably aiming what, 150 probably next year. I don't know what grows, 150, 160, and they are ready to reject good candidates because my two who have been accepted, who have been rejected from INSEAD. I'm sure that they will get HEC, they will get ESSEC, they will get probably, I don't know, ESSAD, they will get LSE, Imperial, I'm sure. Well, we're in the process of applying, so it's not done yet, but I'm sure that it will be the case, okay? You agree with me that international exposure, they need to have the 5 components, the right fit for the program, international exposure, leadership activities, good student, and already some work experience. You agree with me? Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Though I have students, like for example, students from India who never left their home country, but they still managed to get in. So I think it's not about, for example, living abroad, but it's really having this international mindset.
Yes, but maybe Alexandra, probably it will change a bit this year. Probably it will change this year. I think they are probably but I think that they are becoming more picky. Yeah, they may have an international mindset, but at the same time, it seems that the criteria are evolving. Probably they have restrictions. So basically, one of the let's attack a bit the school now. Okay, one of the other problem that you have is INSEAD. So basically, it's a difficult school to get in. According to me, that by the way, there are now like top 3 schools in Europe. Okay, HEC, INSEAD, and LBS. It's difficult for me to rank St. Gallen because it's very, we don't really understand it's difficult to understand. We have very few students applying now. Anyway, the non-Europeans, they don't want to apply to St. Gallen because you cannot have papers to work. Many students prefer to be in a big city. They don't want to be in a small city like St. Gallen. St. Gallen is a village. And the place where it is, it's not even in the village. It is really like the village of the village in the mountains. So many people tell me, I don't see why I should go there. So now the other problem that we have is the cost. It's a quite costly program. Okay, 1 year at INSEAD is the price of 2 years at HEC. Is it an obstacle for you, or could you say yes, but you do in 1 year what you can do in 2 years? So basically, you save money, you will start to work earlier. How do you see that? Personally, me as a father, it would have been almost impossible to pay INSEAD to my kids.
I mean, for me, it's quite expensive. It's 50K, the tuition fees, and I managed to get an scholarship, a reduction of 10K and a French government scholarship of 5K. So I'm essentially paying 35K, but it is expensive, but I hope I will be able to recoup this investment. I mean, in the end, it's an investment. It's not an expense.
Okay, so and you got also a scholarship from the French government, huh?
Yes.
As well. Okay, so that made the thing cheaper, but overall it costs what, 80,000 euros easily?
I would say Fontainebleau and Singapore are quite expensive cities, even Fontainebleau, because there are a lot of MBAs and MIMs, and the demand for housing is very high. And also there are all these activities, social activities like, I don't know, parties, like trips and stuff. So I think overall it's quite costly.
Overall it's quite costly, yes. I would say 80,000 easily, huh? Yeah.
Around,
okay.
Yes.
And Singapore is expensive, but at the same time, I don't want to be rude, but Singapore is worse, paying so much money, Fontainebleau, when you, well, no, but it's not.
I agree.
You see, it's not okay for Paris. You agree to pay a lot of money for a city in the French suburbs.
Yeah, I agree. For the money of the rent that you pay in Fontainebleau, you can find an apartment in Paris, in central Paris. So yeah, but it is what it is. It's part of the experience.
Yeah, of course, it's part of the thing, and there's nothing to say into that. So I want to ask you a question now, Sarah, that you're with us. Sarah, how do you perceive INSEAD yourself as an applicant? So Sarah is a top applicant. She got 710. She's the best student of ESCP, one of the top 3 best students of ESCP. So she has a 19.9 average. So she's a summa cum laude student. Okay, we have been friends for a long time, Sarah, since you're the age of 15, for many reasons. How do you perceive INSEAD now that we have applied, that you had this interview? How is INSEAD perceived for you? And what do you expect from this experience?
So what I expect is to really be prepared very well for your job application process. So you will have a very broad knowledge, but at the same time, you will be able to specify for the specific career you want to do through the electives. And then, as Alexandra said, INSEAD has good career services, but of course you need to search for yourself, but they do provide all the resources necessary. But so I think it's in every school that you yourself need to take the steps. So I really expect to be prepared for my career. And then, as I've said before, just the global aspect, you will really become a global professional just already by living in France and in Singapore and doing study trips to Abu Dhabi or Silicon Valley. It really allows you to become a global professional. So I think that's what I expect to develop. So really personal development, actually.
Okay. So now there are a lot of students from MD Center. Anirud, many MD Center students. And there are few, you see Aleksandra on Saturday afternoon from MD Center because now we have a test every Saturday afternoon. So they have class in the morning and they asked me if they could come and I said, look, okay, 2 weeks ago we already had like an event, okay, so they will watch the recording. That's why we record the event so that they can come. But we have few MD Center students because they are punished and they have to take their test on Saturday afternoon. But I see that 1 or 2 are not taking their test, so we have to talk. Okay, you're not in class. So basically, what is the process like? So Aleksandra and Sarah, because Sarah, it was a different process. We started much earlier. You remember, Sarah? We started when you were still a second-year student. But it's also because I've known you since you're 16 years old. So for many reasons. Alors, Aleksandra, what is the process like?
I think the process has changed slightly, to be honest. For example, right now, I know that the interview with an alumni, many students get it. So in the first year, essentially, you apply, you submit your Gmat, you write your essays. Then you have the Kira interview, and they used to say that the interview with the admissions committee and with the alumni was optional, but I think right now it's more of a staple. You really have to go through this stage, and in the end you receive the admission.
So basically, you understand, so you have to complete the application. So you can take either the Gmat or the GRE. For the reasoning test, for the language test, the TOEFL or the IELTS, okay? You cannot take the Tajma, you cannot take the EA, so it's really like something specific. Then you have to complete an application. The application is not the most difficult thing, and the questions are pretty straightforward, not super difficult. By the way, they are taken from the MD application, but they are even easier. So really, the INSEAD MD application is the easiest of all the applications we have among the top 50 best business schools. And it's even an easier process. And then you have something called the Kira Talent, and then you have one interview. For information, you see, Sarah, when you apply for the MBA, you have 2 interviews with alumni, and it's only 1. I remember that last year and the year before used to be with a member of the committee, and little by little it is. But since there are very few graduates, it's usually with an MBA student, which is, by the way, a bit stupid. Because the idea is that you talk to someone who has been into the same thing as you, and the guys who are interviewing you do not even know that there was no MIM when they completed the MBA. So I don't know how much they can know about the MIM and what it is like. They should start to. They have now about 80 graduates. They have to start to dig into the graduates thing. Okay. Well, basically, what you have to be very careful is that that's something very tricky. That when you apply, you remember, Sarah, you apply, and on the same day, you have to take the Kira Talent. And since I made a big mistake on the same day, made a big mistake with some students that didn't remember because it was the first round since March. I thought that it was a bit like the MBA where you have 48 hours to complete the Kira Talent, but for the MIM, you have to do it on the same day. That's why, by the way, you got an answer so fast. Okay, so that's the way the process works. Okay, so I would say that if you correspond to the criteria, the other prime is the Gmat. Okay. Alors, what is the Gmat like, Sarah? You succeeded beautifully. So Sarah got 710 and her brother got 760. Sarah. So yes. What is the Gmat like? Can you explain to the student what it is? what they should do, what is essential, the do's and the don'ts, etc.? What would you say, Sarah?
I think personally, like good training, you shouldn't prepare like, 1 week in advance and doing every day 8 hours because it's useless. You should really take proper time and work in a structured manner towards the test. Like, for example, say, okay, I'm going to work every day 2 hours for a period of maybe 3 months, whatever you need, because some people already have a very good base in English and then the language is a bit easier, or other people are very good in maths and will not need as much math classes. It really depends on your own needs. And I think the test is something very specific. The math is different than you learn in high school. You have such a strict time limit, so you really need to be able to work with that. Also, just the language part, the English part, it's also something very specific. I mean, I had never done sentence correction or something before in my life, so it's also very specific. So you just really need to prepare in a good way. So for example, with the MBA Center, because they guide you in a very structured way, they have all the materials necessary for you to succeed. So they will really give you the opportunity to succeed, but of course you need to take the opportunity and work hard.
At the same time, yes, I can guide you, but if you don't do your own job, it won't go fast. Famous last word. So you, Sarah, because you're in the process, you already have an interview with London Business School, the MFA, with INSEAD, the MIM, etc. So you're in the good track. Your brother already for LBS, so you're doing well. So 100% success so far. So Sarah, you in the process now. There's 1 more month for you, and in 1 month, by late November, you'll be done with this process probably. What pieces of advice would you give? So you started in November 2020. So when you were beginning the second year, I remember I contacted you and I said, look, Sarah, it's time. And you were a bit surprised. And then you understood that, yes, it's time. Yes, I have to do it like 1 year in advance.
Indeed,
so what pieces of advice would you give?
So if there are people who are not in their final year, but in the year before, I would also start now, like in November, just start preparing the Gmat, because then you can really take a long time to work towards the Gmat. So you can still manage to have very good grades in school. You can still manage to do an internship in the summer, because you will have such a long period to prepare for the test. So I think, if you're in that position, really start now. And if you're already in your final year, then you should just start as soon as possible. Try to get a good Gmat score. Try to really explain where you like the things you've done in the past, like your experiences you've had. Of course, you can't start an internship now because you probably have classes, so you can't really make up for it, but really try to leverage the experiences you did have. And then try to just prepare in advance, because also if you attend events, then many times the schools clearly mention that it's good to apply as soon as possible. Of course, you need to be ready to apply, but just don't wait for the last round, because it's possible that there are no spaces left. So then it doesn't matter how good how good of a candidate you are. If they don't have spaces left, they won't accept you.
Well, actually, for INSEAD, I think, no, actually for INSEAD, at least what the dean says, he said that if they see like 2 good candidates, which are a good fit for the program, they will make space, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably. I know that last year, I don't know if they told you they wanted 150, and 20 defected. Are you aware of that? Okay. So they have to overload. I would say that one of the problems that INSEAD has so far is the ranking. The school is still not ranked. Okay, it's stupid, I know, but for some people it's important. When you go to see your father will say, look, HEC is ranked, INSEAD is not ranked. You want 80,000 euros. I feel more likely to give you to spend this type of money for a school that is ranked. Okay, and you cannot understand that, especially the parents. And you see, Aleksandra can make pressure. Okay, unless you're yourself an INSEAD graduate, that would make the thing different. So that's a thing that I would say. famous last word, Aleksandra, what would you say about all this? What piece of advice would you give as a conclusion of this seminar?
Well, start your preparation in advance. Think about why you want to do this master, because we're going to probe you on that. So you need to have at least an idea of why you're doing the MIM. And yeah, I mean, just be yourself. Don't fake it, because we're going to notice that you're trying to be someone that you're not.
Yes, of course, they will find out. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay, but thank you very much. Thank you very much, Aleksandra. So Alvaro is at the airport. He wanted to talk to us. Alvaro, can you talk? No, maybe he cannot talk. He's at the airport. He's checking in because he came to visit the INSEAD campus. So what I wanted to tell you is that for those who apply in 2023, we'll organize a meeting, a visit of the business schools in France. So HEC, ESSEC, SCP, Sciences Po, Polytechnique. Now they have good programs, and also INSEAD. So there will be something organized probably for spring, for Easter 2022. You'll be in Singapore by then, okay? So the campus will be a bit empty, but we'll send you pictures. Don't worry. We'll make sure that you somehow connected. Aleksandra has done so much for us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.